Thank you very much, Ambassador Michael. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's still morning. Good morning. I know a lot of speakers who have spoken before me have said a lot about the region. Our Minister, Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Phyllis Kandie, spoke almost to conclusion. What she didn't tell you is that she comes from a community that has been winning all these gold medals, so she's a runner. And as the people who are working with her, we also have to keep running after her. Like now, she's just left me, I have to catch up with her. But that's part of a dynamic cabinet secretary that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you on behalf of my chairman, Mr. Kiprono Kitoni, who should have been here with us, who was really looking forward to being with the Greek community, having interacted with you just a month ago in Nairobi. But unfortunately, he fell ill and I had to step in last minute, and he has asked me to convey his sincere apologies and best wishes for our deliberations. My name is James Mureu. I'm a board member of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I also chair the board of the East African Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture within the region. So I'll be wearing very many hats. As I remove one, I'll put on another one. But I can tell you, we are not a very big delegation, but we shall tackle all the problems that shall be presented here. And those that we cannot tackle here, we shall carry with us and promise to give you answers. So I've got an official statement from my chairman, which I will quickly read through, just to honor him, because this is what he'd have wanted me to say. And after that, I'll make a few remarks. And I would like to start by quoting a Greek philosopher, Socrates, who said, give me a standing place, and I will change the world. That's what he said. But I'll tell you the version that I have towards the tail end of my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire membership of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Kenya business community in general, and on my own behalf, I feel greatly honored to be given this opportunity to make these remarks at this important business event. First, I wish to express my deep appreciation for the warm welcome that my members of the Kenya business delegation have so far received from the organizers of this event and the people of this beautiful country whom we have interacted with. On behalf of National Chairman, Mr. Kiprono Kitoni, I am personally so happy to continue receiving handshakes from all these smiling faces. The pre-conference chatting around was very good, and I hope this is a precursor to all the events that are going to follow this great event. As chairman of my country's Chamber of Commerce, I have led many trade delegations to many countries, but like the national chairman, this is the first time to be here. Many Kenyans have heard about Greece through reading, geography, or history. When you mention Greece to many Kenyans, they are reminded of the land of the ancient scientific discoverers, philosophers, and athletes. Great people with names like Plato, Archimedes, the great fathers of science, and events like Olympics come into their memories. Olympics which Kenyans have embraced and run with all the medals, every Olympic, you know that. Many of us are now are very familiar with each other, having interacted in Kenya before. Kenya had the privilege of receiving a very big first Hellenic trade and investment mission to Nairobi, just less than 2 months ago. Ours here is in a way to reciprocate that trade mission. And I take this opportunity to thank those of us from Kenya who have journeyed all the way to here, and particularly thank Vicky, who is not here with us, who is chasing after the minister. As you notice, she also quickly ran after the minister, for her personal initiative in really just bringing us all together and making sure that this happens. I am sure in the next 2 days we shall have constructive engagement, which shall hopefully result in a good business. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to make a brief introduction of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which I am the national chair. Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is a national umbrella private sector business membership organization that has branches in 47 counties across the country. Its membership cuts across all sectors of economy, right from the big corporates to the small sole traders. The main objective of Kenya National Chamber is to promote, protect, develop the commercial and industrial interests of Kenyan businesses in the community within and outside Kenya. In our business delivery activities to our members, we work closely with government bodies in lobbying for business-friendly environment, other trade and investment promotion agencies, both locally and internationally. And you will notice we are traveling together as a team. We've got KTB, we've got EPC, we've got all the other interest players, KICC, the Kenyatta International Conference Center. All of us are here together to promote what we want to call trade. As a chamber, one of our main mandates is to create business linkages between our members and the business counterparts at domestic and foreign markets. That is why we so highly value forums such as this and business-to-business meetings. We believe events like this create perfect forums for entrepreneurs to network with the purpose of exploring one another's business potential. With the advent of the global market liberalization, the international market has become just like a village market. Business people have found that their country's domestic market is too small for their operations. They need to go out there and link them with other international markets. That is the reason why we have traveled all this way to this great nation to try and explore these possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, when we look at the figures of trade between Greece and Kenya, we find that the volumes are not that exciting. And I think that will be our big challenge as we go through these 2 days to see what we can do both ways so that we up the standards, we up the game, and all of us will be talking of good results. This should not be the case. As I mentioned during your visit to our country last September, this unfavorable trading scenario can be addressed through many ways. One is through knowing what we have in terms of trade and what each country has a competitive advantage of producing in order to further this trade. My chamber is optimistic that through working together, we can really forge ahead in matters of trade. You are at liberty to contact us at any time, and we do have a desk, and Lucy, our officer, she must be somewhere around, will be with me there, and we shall take every one question that you have, you require answers for. So with those few remarks, I wish all of you successful deliberations. And on my own behalf, I would like to just make a few remarks on this and just remind the fellows, the businessmen who are gathered here from Greece, that you have friends in Kenya. You have people that you can work with. You have people that are willing to partner with you. We do appreciate the situation, the economic recession that's taking place globally. It's not unique to Greece. It might hurt you a little more than it's hurting everybody else. But if giants like America and other British countries are suffering, I think all we can say is the time to, first of all, identify your friends is now, and the time to also re-engineer the way of doing business from your end to the rest of the world is now, so that you do not allow yourself to remain in the same circumstances and hope to get different results. So my plea is, if you think, and this is my conviction as a businessman, I think Europe is saturated. Whatever it is you're producing, whatever it is you're manufacturing, the market here is saturated. And like my friend Ruth from the EPC has said, Africa is a new frontier. And if your cost of production here is skyrocketing because of standards of living, come to Africa. We want investors there. We want you to come, and whatever it is that you're producing here, Europe is saturated, because what you can do, probably German can do it better. What you can do better, Austria can do better. And you find all of you are high gear production, Africa needs that technology. And the time to do it is now, rather than later. About security in our country, all the speakers have alluded to that. But I tell you, terrorists don't knock at your door and say, hello, I'm coming in. They are terrible people. And by them attacking an upmarket place like the Westgate, which in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people, is the safest place, then you know they just are not good people, and they will not be specific. They never come through the door. They come through the roof, they throw something through the wall, they don't knock at your door. And that's unique, that's a unique way of doing things. It's not a problem that we have that sort of renders our security less than any other country. So please feel free to come to our country. We have what it takes. In terms of the region, I think our labor force is very highly skilled, and it's a question of just bringing in opportunities that will bring mutual benefit to both our countries. The Vision 2030 has been elaborated, but I would just like to say the new constitutional dispensation in our country allows you now to trade directly with county governments, which sort of cuts the big Kenya country into small county governments that you can deal directly with. And our demands for various opportunities, services is very high. We're looking at power generation as one of the key pillars of Vision 2030. And in order for us to achieve that, we need power generation. And I know this country can come in and help us with power generation across the whole country. And I'll just give you some top-of-the-head figures. Currently, we have about 1,700 megawatts available. We need to up that to about 6,000 megawatts by the realization of Vision 2030 in the next 17 years. So there's a growth opportunity. And we are not just looking at hydro, we're looking at geothermal, we are looking at solar energy, we are looking at wind energy, whatever area. And again, I know, from your end here, I know that you have developed industries that can help service that. In terms of the direct flight to Athens, we at the Chamber are actually in the forefront lobbying for that. And we are saying that is one way, arising from the visit that you made to Kenya in September. We have gone on higher gear to persuade the government and the Kenya Airways to look at this as really the way to go in order to open up the two countries in terms of thinking. Now, the areas that we have competitive advantages, we have some of the best cut flowers in the world. And while Maneki was presenting, she said, we have some of the best coffees. Actually, we don't have some of the best coffee. We have the best coffee in the world and the best tea in the world. And that's a fact that cannot be challenged. And until you've tasted our coffee, then you haven't tasted coffee or tea for that matter. So I would like us to just remember that we are trying to look at where we have competitive advantages and value addition. I mean, you can come to Kenya and set up value addition enterprises that will value add the coffee. And as you launch it into the European market, first of all, you have the advantage of a very robust product, and then you also have a good environment and probably lower labor costs than you would have here, which makes it very, very worth your while to come and set up there. I'm not saying you come and underpay Kenyans, but strictly speaking, it will be a lot cheaper and a lot better too, because we need a lot of manual. If you have manual machines that can be worked on, that will be very good. Having said that, now I want to finish with what I started with. Give me a standing place, and I'll change the world, said Socrates. And I want to reverse that and say, change the world, and you will have a standing place. I thank you all.